Next on ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend, a fatal crash overnight leaves at least one person dead this morning. Latest details from the scene. And an El Paso church festival goes horribly wrong as a carnival ride ends up killing one and injuring others. And the fallout from the latest in the EPISD cheating scandal continues. Is the standardized testing system part of the problem? This is all the news you need to start your Saturday, April 30th. ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso weekend.
Well, good morning, El Paso, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew J. Polk. We begin with that breaking news overnight. One person is dead after a pedestrian-involved crash. It happened on Pershing Drive and San Marcial Street in central El Paso. Police have not told us much information, but here's what we know for sure so far. Happened around 1 this morning and involved two people. Both were transported to the hospital. One was confirmed dead. We don't yet know what caused the crash or the condition of the other person involved. We're working to find out more information, so stay with us on air and online for updates.
It's devastating. It hurts the community. It hurts the Diocese of El Paso.
And a girl is dead along with two others injured after a ride at a church carnival appears to have malfunctioned. All the victims, teenage girls. Happened around 8:30 last night on the 10,900 block of Bywood near Pebble Hills in Lee Trevino. Police say it was at St. Thomas Aquinas Church. And El Paso police confirmed two of the teenage girls were ejected from a spinning ride. Both were rushed to the hospital. According to the communications director of the Diocese of El Paso, one girl sustained life-threatening injuries and later died at Del Sol Hospital. The other girl had less severe injuries and is staying at UMC. We are told by the diocese that both the teenage girls ejected are 16 years old, and the teen who wasn't ejected, 17 years old. She was not seriously injured and did not have to be taken to the hospital. Police are working to find out exactly what caused the teenagers to be ejected.
There are regulations. They are regulated by state statutes. There's inspections that are required. Whether or not this vendor is up to par with that, it hasn't been determined.
I just thought there's no way that this really happened. Certainly if somebody got injured, okay. You know, I can tell you that having had the opportunity to speak with Father Ed, he is crushed. He loves this community, and he was doing this for the community as an event for children.
You may remember back in 2014, two teenagers were also injured in a carnival ride at St. Anthony's Bazaar. We are told this ride is not from the same vendor as the one from the 2014 Bazaar. The name of the teenagers have not yet been released. And of course, update you as we get more information on the cause and those teens. And that crash happened on a ride called the Sizzler. It's very much like the one you're seeing in this video. We found a video on Facebook of a different Sizzler ride. But according to the Diocese Communications Director, the vendor of the ride at the carnival is well known to the diocese. She says it's unclear at this point if churches will continue to use carnival rides for any more festivals. This week's huge story the borderland has eyes on is the cheating scandal at EPISD. So we wanted to know what causes it. In addition to 6 local administrators charged this week for devising a scheme to cheat the standardized testing system, nearly 50 superintendents in Texas sent a letter to the state education commissioner calling it a, quote, flawed system. So does the standardized testing system, which so many complain is unfair, lead to educators finding ways to try to beat the system? We spoke with Isleta Teachers Association President Arlinda Valencia about whether the potentially flawed testing system is resulting in previously good educators cheating.
The test is the culprit. The test is the center of the nucleus. I mean, it's just going to explode if we continue to put pressure on everyone to have high scores. And I don't see an end to it if we continue to go this way.
Anybody that chooses to violate the law and really violate the interests of our students, you know, should be prosecuted, should be held accountable.
Valencia said in the future, the state will tie 20% of a teacher's evaluation to standardized test scores, which she believes could lead not only more administrators to try to cheat, but teachers and even students as well. And ABC7 is still trying to find out more information from the FBI. Where is James Anderson? He is the 6th person listed in an indictment that landed 5 of his former co-workers a brief stay in jail. The former EPISD administrators posted bond Thursday and were released from the county jail. Anderson's name is redacted from the document the ABC7i team got a hold of Thursday. However, he is named by his position, which was the former assistant superintendent for secondary education. ABC7 checked with the county jail, and still no James Anderson arrested. Anderson and the other 5 allegedly carried out a scheme devised by then Superintendent Lorenzo Garcia, who has already served 2 years in prison. Why? The FBI says it's all to get higher test scores on the state's standardized testing. It allegedly started at Bowie High School and quickly spread to other schools like Austin High. How did they allegedly do it? The Fed says the administrators held back students, told them to drop out, or change their transcripts to avoid the standardized tests. Well, getting to your storm track weather now, we have Iris Lopez live outside with your first forecast. Good morning, Iris.
A good Saturday morning to you all. I am out here in Fort Bliss for the 4th annual Old Ironsides Mud Challenge. It is a 16 obstacle course. It's a run that looks very fun behind me. You can see all the obstacle courses. And you know what? If you want to sign up and you haven't yet, you have up until 9 o'clock to sign up, and things get started by 9 o'clock, but they have 3 phases, 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Temperature-wise, it's pretty nice out here. I had to put a sweater on, but it is not too cool. Look at those temperatures to see exactly what I'm talking about. You can see upper 50s here in El Paso, a little bit cooler in Las Cruces. Then we have some 40s on the board for your map. Let's talk about the winds right now. There's a light breeze if you're going to be heading out, and that's what's making it feel a little bit cooler than what those temperatures are. Calm right now, though. For your breakfast forecast for this beautiful Saturday morning, we're going to reach those upper 60s by your 11 o'clock hour. Those winds will still be in the lower breezy category. It's just going to be a light breeze as we are expecting right now. Looking ahead to the future, temperature-wise, for today, we're going to have your event planners. Tonight, your evening forecast. Plus, we're going to talk about next week, your 7-day windcast as well as your 7-day raincast to get you prepared for the week ahead. Coming up, we're going to go ahead and talk to some people about the Mud Fest and just to see how much fun it is. All that coming up. Andrew?
All right, thanks, Iris. Check back with you live outside here in a bit. And a man is now waiting to hear his sentence after pleading guilty to killing his girlfriend. From our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, yesterday Corey Franklin changed his plea to guilty, which in turn changed what his punishment could be. As part of a plea agreement, kidnapping and tampering with evidence charges were dropped. It all happened last year in January when Franklin killed his girlfriend, Graciela Hernandez, at the couple's home just north of Las Cruces. Franklin was facing at least 51 years in prison, but could now be eligible for parole after serving 30 years. Franklin stabbed Hernandez 11 times, then went to go buy beer before calling police to say someone broke into their home. Franklin later recanted that story and told investigators it was self-defense because Hernandez attacked him with a knife.
This resolution, there is finality for the family. You don't have years and years and years and months of an appeal process.
She loved her daughter, she loved her family. And for someone just to take that from her. It's not fair.
By changing his plea to guilty, Franklin avoids having to testify in front of a jury on Monday. And the man accused of killing an 11-month-old baby girl may now be able to get back out on the streets. Antonio Lopez was on trial last month for the death of Jayla Beckley, a foster child who was under his care. A judge lowered Lopez's bond from $250,000 to just $25,000, and Lopez is accused of putting Jayla on the floor and stomping her in her chest, among other things. The judge declared a mistrial when jurors couldn't reach a verdict. The judge reduced the bond yesterday during a bond hearing, and the terms of the bond say Lopez can't return to the home where the alleged murder took place. When and if he's released, he will reside in a home near Fabens. Lopez can have unsupervised visits with his children. However, an adult must be present if he has any contact with any other children. A new trial date for Lopez was also set for September. And the Democratic and Republican national conventions may not be until July, but El Pasoans who will be delegates are already getting ready to make history. And it doesn't come cheap. Each is having to spend thousands of dollars out of pocket. ABC7's Ashley Rodriguez explains.
I like to take compliments on my shirt because I say it should look good. It cost me $2,000.
El Paso GOP Executive Director Bob Pena attended the 2012 Republican National Convention in Tampa.
New Jersey, 50, Romney.
Their Texas delegates wear matching shirts and, of course, cowboy hats, a keepsake for that moment in history and the thousands of dollars they have to spend to get there.
Yes, certainly the cost is something that we're already having to think about and plan for.
Ileana Olguin will become the El Paso Democratic chair this summer. If elected to be one of 4 delegates sent to Philadelphia, she expects to pay $3 grand. That's just for herself, but she wants her husband and daughters to attend, meaning she could spend up to 10 grand.
We're looking at different options. We are also looking at the possibility of Airbnb.
I was looking at the what they call vacation homes over there, so we just might end up getting several of us to just rent a home for the week.
Suspend the rules and nominate by acclamation Barack Obama as the Democratic Party's presidential candidate. Please say aye.
El Paso County Republicans will send 3 delegates to Cleveland. 2 of them are bound for Ted Cruz. Democrats will send 4, 3 for Hillary Clinton, 1 for Bernie Sanders. All 7 will be elected at the state party conventions. All are volunteers who want to spend the money to attend.
This is a very historic election where we could potentially be electing our very first female president.
Pena doesn't know if he'll even get to represent El Paso, but he does know it's time to start saving just in case.
It is expensive, but I'll find a big tree that I can shade under or something.
Ashley Rodriguez, ABC 7.
And remember, the Democratic Party has superdelegates who are unbound and can vote for who they feel like. Representing El Paso in that position will be State Rep Jose Rodriguez and U.S. Congressman Beto O'Rourke. And it was quite the show yesterday at Southwest University Park. El Paso's own Jennifer Hahn had a lot of pressure on her as she took on Calista Salgado, who was ranked 6th in the world. So is Hahn still the champ? Hahn defended her world title in front of her home crowd at the first ever boxing event at Southwest University Park. She was able to control the fight and won with a unanimous decision from the judges. Jennifer Hahn retains her world featherweight title. We'll have the highlights and more coming up later in sports. It's time to clear out your medicine cabinets. Today, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office is joining the DEA to hold a prescription take-back event. It gives you the chance to get rid of expired, unused, or unwanted prescription drugs. The service is free and anonymous, no questions asked. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Sheriff's Office will be collecting at the Montana Patrol Station, the Clint Patrol Station, and the Northwest Patrol Station. As for the DEA, they have plenty of other locations as well. For the list of all those places, just visit our website, KVIA.com, and look under links mentioned. And of course, don't forget to pick up your copy of the El Paso Ink. This week, only in El Paso Ink, what William D. Billy Abraham has to say as the city hits him with a $2 million fine. His reaction only in El Paso Ink. And why the latest healthcare company to open in El Paso wants to be your go-to clinic for everyday medical matters. And how the county hopes to build heritage tourism, and what's the fate of the Coliseum. El Paso Ink is online at elpasoink.com and available for home and business delivery. Call the number there at the bottom of your screen, 534-4422, to subscribe. The Zika virus continues to present new challenges, and coming up on Good Morning El Paso Weekend, what new tools doctors in the U.S. may soon have. Taking a look at the world of politics, is the showdown set up? How the race for the nomination is looking this weekend. It is 8:13, taking a live look at traffic this morning. I-10 and Joe Battle, we got a few cars out there for your Saturday morning daylight hours, but otherwise moving along just fine, and no major problems to report elsewhere in the borderland. I-10 and Eastlake, same story, bit more traffic, but otherwise no problems to report. You're watching ABC 7, where news comes first.